The last video I did like this, the last update video, was kind of a downer, and I apologize for that. I want to let you know I'm not going anywhere or anything like that, but I do want to talk about some other things. Hey everyone, my name is Tristan Verstappen, and I have a lot to say about many things. I want to talk about moving forward. In the last video, the last update, I talked about how, essentially I had set out doing this kind of content with the goal of, my passion of inspiring, entertaining, and encouraging people. And I talked about how essentially I have a lot to say about many things. But something that I've realized over time is that I have kind of pigeonholed myself to only allow myself to speak on certain things. And that's been a big issue for me. It's been a big issue as far as basically it just kept resulting in me burning out time and time again. And that's not what I want to do. What I want to do, when I originally, like before I started even uploading anything, when I first started I had the idea for this channel, for making content like this, the idea was to talk about really whatever I wanted. But I wanted to do this thing where a lot of times I would talk about, relevant, hot button issues and things like that, and try to give a more nuanced perspective on those. I would also have moments where I would talk about, and entire videos where I would talk about, like, kind of reviewing my favorite movie or video game or record, or record by an artist I like, something like that. And I wanted to be like all over the place with this stuff, but I also wanted it to be very like specific in how it was done. And I talked with a buddy of mine, and we talked about he was starting his YouTube channel at the time as well, and we talked about kind of niching down and things like that. And I decided to focus on just discussing kind of hot button issues. But then I started making reaction content, and that A, gained more attention, and B, in some ways was, well, it wasn't really easier to make, but it definitely gained more attention, and it kind of made me feel like, all right, this is what I have to do to actually do this and be successful. Because as I talked about in the previous video, I am working toward making this my career, right? Like, you know. But I think the biggest mistake that I made was niching down too much, focusing too much on what did I essentially allow myself to become? A reaction channel. And I don't have an issue with making that kind of content now and then or anything like that, but I would rather discuss ideas and broader topics and be able to have that more open discussion on different things rather than niche down so much into here I am reacting to this specific thing. And I just kind of got burnt out a couple times. I also really like holidays. And I really like having a specific thing to discuss and kind of release as a holiday themed video. I like releasing stuff for, oh, this is the Christmas special. This is, or the Christmas special for this year, the Halloween special for this year, the such, so on and so forth, right? I like doing that. And I found that just with like everything that I was doing, the way that I was making content and everything, it just wasn't really conducive to the core of who I am. In a lot of ways it was, because I did get to share, and do get to share when I make that kind of content, this reaction-based content, I get to share my views and ideas on things. But again, I'm just reacting. Hell, I talked about in one of the most recent videos about the game Stellar Blade. But did anybody take away from the fact that I actually am really looking forward to that game? No. Did I get to talk about how I was did I really get to talk about how I was really looking forward to it and play the demo? And, well, and I have played the demo now, and I actually quite like the game. But did I get to do these kind of things? Did I get no? What I found is that there's a level of making reaction content as that was that unfortunately takes out some of the nuance just naturally, largely because a lot of people who will see people like myself or somebody else reacting to something won't have that level of nuance like in and of themselves. They'll see the title, the thumbnail, all these different things, and then they'll think like, oh, this is totally agreeing with me or this is totally against me. And then when what they are expecting to get from that video, when it's different from what their expectations aren't met, they're angry. And you do this too. I do this. We all do this. Like we all like, this is something we have to be aware of when we're consuming content. But I don't want to be a part of the like divisive drama bait content creation machine. I've rarely touched on drama and things of that nature in general. The only times I have were times that it was near and dear to my heart. I'm not going to go and discuss every little thing that happened with a celebrity, but someone that was my hero growing up, who I actually will have a follow-up to that shortly. Yeah, of course I'm going to talk about something like that. I had to go out of my way to find a video and react to something that gave me the chance to really talk about my favorite band, All Time Low. Do you know how long I've wanted to talk about my favorite band, my favorite music, my favorite movies, my favorite anything that isn't specifically related to social and political issues? A long time. So, the tagline of the channel is, of course, a lot to say about many things. However, I've only allowed that to be true about certain things. Now, don't get me wrong. I addressed this in the video before. I am still passionate about social and political issues. I think really everybody is, right? But I want to really just talk about and share things that I'm interested in with you. I do want to ultimately bring unity with people of all sides of political, social, religious, ethnic, whatever spectrum they may be. I ultimately want all of us to just get along. Again, I love people. It's like the number one thing I'm the most, actually it is the number one thing I'm the most passionate about. But I really want to do something that is fun, both for myself and for you guys. So I've alluded to this before, but I've talked before about how I've in the past couple of years have gotten into comics and different things of that a lot more than I have before. I don't think I've explicitly talked about how I'm making an effort and have been for the past couple of years to consume a lot of media in general that I've just missed out on growing up. But I've been doing that, and I want to share that journey with you guys. What I want to do, moving forward here, what the point of everything is to really just stick to that tagline of a lot to say about many things. The primary focus of this channel moving forward is going to be largely media analysis, I would say. And when I say the primary focus, what I mean to say is the majority of content moving forward, I think, is going to be that. But if I have something specific I want to talk about, be it a social issue, a political issue, whatever it might be, something having to do with, I don't know, any kind of entertainment industry, maybe give my take on how crazy the Sonic fan base is, being a Sonic fan myself, I don't fucking know, or the Spider-Man fan base or something, like, what, anything that I want to talk about, that I can do that. That's the whole point. That's what I set out to do, and that's what I wanted to do, to talk about whatever I want. The structure is essentially going to be this: me talking to a camera, talking to you guys about things that I want to talk about. The idea of this media analysis is ultimately to analyze, to analyze different types of media as well as their cultural relevance. So, of course, anybody's worldviews are going to come through at least a little bit when they do any kind of analysis of any media. I mean, art imitates culture and shapes culture, and culture imitates art, and they feed in on each other, right? What do we have if we don't have art? So even if I'm talking about something like Sonic the Hedgehog or uh, anything else, believe it or not, that is going to have cultural relevance. Everything does, and everything will, give me the ability, I feel, to really discuss just things that I'm passionate about and share them with you guys. But I don't want to go with the reaction content that I've been making before. I'll be honest with you. If it turns out that this isn't successful, and it turns out that I kind of have to do reaction content, I'll do that. I mean, it was still fun enough, and it is fun enough in general, but I'm looking to do something that is going to be more consistent for me and for you. My hope is that it'll be consistent and appropriate and entertaining for the algorithm as well, because that's also important, unfortunately, but it is what it is. So, yeah, the main idea is to discuss those kind of things. But again, not so much just react to things, just discuss. The media analysis series that I've decided to call this is Ramblin' Reviews. The media analysis is going to be me rambling to the camera, talking to you guys about the stuff that I want to discuss, review, talk about with you guys. What I'm talking about for that is I want to go through every piece of media that, and again, I have been doing this already, every piece of media that, like, Spider-Man or Batman or any superhero has been in, like, in chronological order, as in release order, I should say, release order. Starting with, like, Batman, the first Detective Comics issue he was in 1939, starting with Spider-Man, Amazing Fantasy 15 in 1962, and literally, like, each episode being a different issue, or a movie, or a video game, or a TV show episode that they were in, something like that. That's how I want to do this, and I hope that you will enjoy all of that. So, as always, these are and will always be my thoughts, my ideas, my opinions, my concerns, my hopes, my fears, my dreams, my everything. I genuinely hope that you enjoy, you stick around, and if you don't, I understand. But let me know what your ideas, your whatever, are in the comments down below. Follow me on social media for more. The link is in the description. Subscribe and ring the bell to stay up to date. Leave a like if you like, and if not, I hope you find something to do like. Later, guys. Peace and love.